Good morning. Okay, so today we're going to do a little foot to core connection breathing exercise. And what I need for you to do before we get started is to get like either yoga blankets or a couple of big bath towels, maybe a washcloth, and just various sizes of towels or pillows. Okay, and then if you have an ottoman or a bed or a bench that you can set up next to, you're going to utilize this by putting your legs up on it once we get to the breathing. But I need you guys to have your props ready at your side so that we can go right into it after we do the foot assessment. Okay, so this is a nice exercise that I learned from a fellow colleague, Sean Kitzman. And we're basically going to do a standing assessment to see what our body feels like from our feet up. Then we're going to do a breathing exercise. There are going to be 3 pieces to this. And then we're going to go back, stand up, and reassess kind of how the feet feel. Okay? And let's get started. You're not going to see my head, probably from the waist up, for the first part of this. Alrighty? Sorry. So let's take a stance and feet hip distance apart. Go ahead and have those feet and the knees pointing straight ahead. Just get relaxed. Relax your jaw, relax your neck, hands. And just in a normal stance, I want you to take note of where you feel the weight centered over your feet or on your feet. Like for instance, I feel a lot of weight on my left side, my left heel, and on the very lateral part of my 5th met, which is the pinky, not the pinky toe, but the ball of the foot for the pinky, okay? And then on my right foot, I feel just the opposite. I feel like my big toe and my big toe ball and my heel have most of the weight on them. And I feel like the backs of my knees, I'm kind of pushing into the backs of my knees, okay? So I want you, if you can, remember that or write it down. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to check the pelvic alignment. And ideally we want to be lined up pretty much centered from the crown of the head through the shoulders, the rib cage, the hips, the center of the knee, and the center of your ankle. But a lot of us have like a forward lean where a lot of the weight's in the forefoot, or we've got a really big anterior tilt of the pelvis, meaning that the butt's sticking out and we've got quite a swoop in the low back, okay? And, or some people might be tucked under with a posterior tilt, okay? So one way that you can kind of figure out if you have an anterior, neutral, or pelvic tilt is by taking your index fingers and your thumb and making a diamond. We're going to place the index fingers at the top of the pubic bone, and you're also going to kind of have the heel of your hands at your hips. The thumbs are going to be up at the belly button. So from here, you kind of want that diamond to be lined up, you know, from top to bottom vertically. You don't, well, if you feel like your thumbs and maybe your wrists are a little forward of your pubic bone and also your index fingers, then you've got an anterior tilt of some sort. Now, if you have the thumbs behind the index fingers like that, then you've got a bit of a tuck or a posterior tilt. Okay, so take note of that. Now what I want us to do is I want us to go through and do a pelvic tilt and note when you go anterior or posterior, do you feel like it's easier to do one motion than the other? Do you have more range of motion going under or anterior? Do you feel like you recruit a lot of other muscles to help you even move the pelvis? Can you just use the abdominals to help you move the pelvis? So just kind of take note of those. If you don't have a lot of movement in your pelvis, that's also something to note. Okay, so now we're going to go into the breath work part of this. And this is a very nice, relaxing we're gonna take about, let's see what we've got here. We're gonna take about 10 to 12 minutes to do this, okay? Just so you get some good breathing in, which with these times that we have, I know we're probably all under a lot of anxiety, so breathing is really good for us, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and lie down. And you want to support your legs in what we call a 90-90 position. So you want your hips at 90, you want your knees at 90. I don't want you to really make the hip flexors work a lot to keep those legs up, okay? And first I'm gonna take the bolsters out from underneath my head. Alrighty. So actually, I'm sorry, take that back. Let's take the legs off too. Alrighty. So we'll go ahead and what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up with the knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And I want you to get that neutral pelvis. So that means you want your pubic bone and your hip bones to be in a nice level plane, okay? You don't want to be with the back mashed onto the floor, nor do you want to be really arched so that you've got a lot of space underneath your lower spine, your lumbar spine. So go ahead and get into that neutral pelvis and take note of what your ribs and your neck are doing. So in order for me to be in a pretty good neutral pelvis, my ribs, hello Trisket, my ribs are kind of flaring and my thoracic spine is extending a bit. So what I need to do is take my hands and kind of push my rib cage down so that my ribs and my hips are nice and connected from the anterior to posterior. And I'm going to note that I've got probably about 5 or 6 inches of space from the tops of my shoulder blades to my head that I need to prop up. So now we're going to go into our position and I'm going to take my blankets that I have and I'm going to prop them up underneath me so that I get into that comfortable position where my ribs are not fighting to stay down to the floor and connected with my hips, okay? So from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice some one-dimensional breathing. You're gonna take your right hand and put it on your belly and your left hand on your chest. So you can close your eyes if you want. Let's take several breaths where we're gonna start breathing and we're gonna try to lift that hand on the belly, and then you're gonna continue inhaling and then try to raise the chest up, okay? So you're gonna breathe in through your nose and you're gonna inhale less time than you exhale, okay? So take our inhale and now exhale through your nose or your mouth, preferably your nose. And make that exhale, if you can, twice as long as the inhale. So let's continue. We're going to inhale into the belly first, then the chest, and then exhale. Let's do 3 more of those. Okay, so what I want you to take note of now is, do you feel any like stress or anxiety or discomfort anywhere? Is it hard to inhale through the nose, through the belly, and through the chest, and then exhale twice as long? Do you feel like you're running out of breath? And if you do feel any discomfort or just weirdness anywhere, try to direct your breathing into those spaces that are giving you, like, making you feel blocked or giving you a little bit of anxiety. Like my face starts to twitch when I do this exercise. I don't know why, but it usually takes me a couple of minutes to do this to get my face to settle down. And I also get some discomfort in my like lower rib cage spinal connection where the diaphragm is. Wonder why. So now what I want us to do is direct our breathing laterally. Okay, so we're going to do more of a lateral 360-degree breath, hopefully getting not just the belly and the chest, but also out into the lateral ribs, lungs, and into the back portion of our lungs. So you're going to take your thumbs, and we're going to press them about where the upper waist meets the ribs, the very lowest ribs, okay? And you're going to just give gentle pressure into your sides, and you're going to try to breathe and widen your ribs and your waist and push into the thumbs. Let's do 4 more like that. So nice breath in. Last 2. Okay, third and final part of this. So you undoubtedly felt probably some constriction or blockages, maybe on one, like anterior or posteriorly, right or left, in that breathing. For some reason, I always feel like my right side can expand more than my left. So one way to direct the breath into the blocked, kind of constricted part is to take your hand, and if it's the front of your rib cage, you're going to press down and just hold down that area and then breathe into it. If it's on the side, you can take your hand like that and just press into the side. So mine's going to be on my left. So let's go ahead and press into that area where you want to breathe into, and let's do that for 3 or 4 breaths. And you can even go on the side that doesn't feel constricted, but really direct your breathing into the blocked side and really fill that space up with air and make those muscles open up and spread out between those ribs. Relax your neck and your face. One more time. Okay, now go ahead and let's get out of our position. Press yourself up. Take a moment, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stand up and we're going to reassess how our feet feel, okay? Okay. So, I definitely feel more weight evenly distributed between both feet. I feel the first met, fifth met, heel, center of heel on both feet. I still feel more awareness on my left side, but it's not as much as it was before, and I'm not as aware of kind of pressing back into the back of my knees as I was before. And I feel my core, my TVA between my hips is a little bit better connected. So this is a really fun exercise to do. You can do it on a daily basis. It's good for relaxation, for meditation. It's good if you're going to go out and train, especially if you're going to do balance exercises, squats, lunges, really anything, abdominal work, upper body work, because it's going to line that body up better than it was before. So I hope you enjoyed that, and please follow me. For my next video, I'm going to be giving videos on quick little things that you can do to wake up the feet, the body, the shoulders, the neck, the core, and things that you can do at home. Okay? So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that.